Today on Outside the Box Reviews, we're taking a look at the NECA Terminator 2 Judgment Day T-800 Cyberdyne Showdown figure from Wave 2 of NECA's Terminator line. And it roughly seems, with the progression of waves here, that NECA is kind of moving chronologically through the film. Wave 1, of course, got us the Pescadero Escape that I reviewed previously, and the Man or Machine version, which predates this version in the film. Also gave us an endoskeleton, and while I'm not reviewing that particular figure, I will get around to an endoskeleton eventually. But this is kind of the next logical place. This is when they're in Cyberdyne, when they're trying to destroy Skynet before it ever comes to pass. And it also is the figure that includes what I consider one of the most iconic weapons in the movie. I said last time the shotgun is very iconic. Well, this one pretty much has the other two. The giant freaking minigun and the grenade launcher. So let's take a closer look at this figure. So first up we have the grenade launcher, and this is really nicely done. A beautiful silver paint job on it with the brown woodwork, detailed in wood grain. Looks very, very nice. Of course, having the Hot Toys one sitting just a few feet away from me at the moment, it's not nearly as pretty as that, but come on, this is NECA, so it's still a very nice sculpt. Mine is a little warped. It has been the whole time I've had it. I would be inclined to put in some hot water and kind of straighten it back out, but because I always want this guy displayed with the minigun, and this thing sits over his shoulder, the curve of it actually allows it to cling to his body a little better and kind of stay in place a little more easily, so I haven't really fixed it. We do have the soft rubberized strap that you can use to put over his shoulder. That is also really nicely detailed with all kinds of buckles and things on it, looking very authentic. And overall, just a very nicely done weapon for the T-800. Very well done. We can't, of course, get that in his hand, so, you know, if you have a locked door, your security code isn't working, you could try his. And next up we have the minigun, and this thing is crazy cool. Very nice, beautifully done silver with some shading over top of it to make it look all dirty and worn like it's been sitting out in the desert for years. But a lot of great mechanical looking detail on it. I don't know what all the parts are. I don't know guns, but this thing's a really cool looking gun. Very, very cool looking. It's got all the barrels up here. These don't rotate or anything. They're all solid one piece. Back here it has the little black handle. Now this was originally a separate piece that pegged in. I glued mine in place because it fell off all the time, and because this thing has a decent amount of weight to it, and Arnold holds it by this little bar up front and then this back handle here, he would often kind of have the gun sag and pull this handle out. So I glued the handle in place so that it's not gonna drop off on the bottom and look all stupid on my shelf. We have the rubberized bullet belt coming all the way down here to the bag, which is full of more bullets, which is decently sculpted. It's kind of bland, but it's supposed to be. We have the zipper up here on the side, a lot of good wrinkles and texture to it, another soft rubberized strap on it, which is nice. And then the back of it's indented so that it will fit against Arnold's body as well, kind of fitting up against his leg and his side. That way it kind of stays in place. Now, getting all of these things, this bag, this awkward two-handed gun, and a grenade launcher over his shoulders, is a major balancing act with this figure, and very, very hard to get them all on him without them falling off. So be patient with it, and eventually you can get him to look right. As for the figure himself, we get a head sculpt not unlike the Man or Machine one. I'm not sure if this is exactly the same sculpt or not, but just a very basic, undamaged Arnold head without the glasses on. But some good sculpting. It looks a decent amount like the Man. I feel like the sunglass wearing sculpt from the Pescadero Escape figure is the best. It kind of gives it that extra covering on it to kind of make it so that it looks more like Arnold without actually having to look a whole lot like Arnold, if that makes any sense. But this is decent. This works for me. The hair, same kind of sculpt going on. The browns and the blacks mixed together, which I really like. And then a lot of this is the same. We have the same rubberized jacket with all the bullet holes, same sleeves going on here. We have his grenade belts going across, which is a new feature. soft, rubberized. It could be removed. You could pretty much just pop the head off and slide it off his shoulder if you wanted to. But really well detailed. It's missing one of the grenades, which makes sense because he probably has one inside the gun itself. But very nicely done, very well detailed. I really like that. Underneath now, it's same sculpt of a shirt, but now it's painted gray. So that's the gray shirt that he has, the replacement for the one that's all shot up in the Pescadero Hospital and at the Galleria. So that's very nice. We have the same pants from the waist down, the great detailing on the belt, all the little loops in there, just plain black biker pants. And now, of course, this figure does have the Luke Skywalker gloves on instead of just having the bare hands like the first version. So it's another kind of change in the evolution of the Terminator here. And then some nice brown dry brushing on the feet. That I don't think was in the first version I had, but looks very nice here. For articulation, it's the same as the other figures. He has a ball joint at the base of the neck. You get a good range there. Pin socket shoulders, forward and back, out to the side, bend and rotate at the elbow, ball joint at the wrist, swivel at the waist, the 2 points in the one leg that will kind of rotate because the knees eventually got to come out, and then a slight cut joint at the foot. Now thank goodness this thing has peg holes at the bottom of his feet, because with all those accessories on, he becomes very front heavy and tends to topple over. It may just be my figure, maybe mine's just slightly off because even now he's leaning a little far forward, but I have had to put him on some stands, and even the NECA stand doesn't work particularly well. What I've actually been using for this review have been the old WWE figure stands from Mattel that I used to get when I do custom figures, and these would come with them. And I actually had one of these on each foot just to kind of give him snowshoes that will make him not topple forwards. That is a bit of a bummer. So overall, this is another entry in the Terminator 2 line that I really enjoy. It's not my favorite, and that's a bit of a bummer because I thought it would be. This weapon is so freaking cool that I thought this would be one of the best Terminator figures NECA ever did, and the reality is it's not really NECA's fault, but it's too much stuff. It's just very hard to get everything to sit on him correctly, and then with having balance issues with this figure, which I don't know is just my figure maybe being a little defective, because all my other Terminators seem to stand just fine on their own. Or if it is a problem specifically with this figure, it just is so much work to get him to be in the pose I want him to be in that it almost makes it not worth it. Don't get me wrong. Glad I have it. I'm happy to have it in my collection. It's definitely iconic Arnold, iconic Terminator. I just wish it was a little easier to put together. But he is going to get a recommendation. Nothing super high, but a solid recommendation. Make sure you check me out on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. Also check me out on Facebook, link below. And until next time, I'll be back. Make sure you check out Outside the Box Reviews on Facebook, link below. Also, make sure you check out Outside the Box Reviews on Instagram, username Outside the Box Review. Make sure you check me out on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. Also, check me out on... Oh my god, I cannot win this.